There is this question, though, around Democrats versus Republicans. And you have people like Kanye West who's saying, listen, love you guys and Democrats.
Excuse me 1 second.
Why don't you just get him on FaceTime?
Well, you know where I'm going with this. Kanye says that, it's time out for Democrats. What do you guys think?
Well, I think that, first of all, Kanye is an artist, man.
Yes.
And he's a genius.
Absolutely.
Whatever he's saying right now, I think that the angle he's seeing things from is about the division that he sees. And he's not inconsistent with what he's saying. For instance, a decade ago, I read a quote where he said he wanted to take the Confederate flag and reappropriate it some other different kind of way. I mean, it's a MAGA hat, whatever, man. The thing that's scary about this presidency is after it. I don't know if you've been married before or had a girlfriend and said something in a fight that was so wrong, and then after that, we still family, we still around each other, but man, I sure did say all that shit, didn't I? And I'm not mad at Kanye. That's my brother. I love him. I support him. I buy his albums.
No claps? Oh, man, that was rough.
I know, whether people clap or not, But, I don't have to agree with everything that he says. I just trust him as a person of intent. But, he shouldn't say all that shit, but...
But let me take it on the argument then. So to take his personality out of it. What about the argument he's making, which is that, it's almost you're in this PC prison, you can't say anything, and you're not allowed to vote for Republicans if you're African American. What's your argument to people who feel like it's time to give Republicans a chance? It's an argument being made by a minority.
But I'll say this: I'm not a partisan dude. If he ran as a Republican, I'd vote Republican. If I got a chance to vote for somebody like this, I'm voting for somebody.
This isn't about party. This is about ideas.
That's right.
The ideas have kind of migrated from party to party. The Democrats used to be much more conservative. Today, however, unfortunately, there's only one party that stands for civil rights. There's only one party that stands for environmental protection. And we have to, as voters, really listen to the ideas. What I say to folks is that look, the war on drugs has failed. Trickle-down economics has failed. We have to have the courage to put ideas on the table that actually lift up working families, white, black, brown, Native American, Asian American. We've got to move beyond the labels of party and look at ideas, but let's also be clear. Donald Trump's party is Donald Trump's party. And what they stand for right now, we have to fight with everything we have.
The other big issue, we're talking about race, talking about class, gender. We're now in a situation where a whole new set of voices is coming forward. How do you guys look at the role of this new movement for women's empowerment, the Me Too movement, et cetera?
I hope it succeeds. What we all have to realize is that we all have to stand up in this moment and say that these women who have the courage to step forward, these men in many places, the courage to step forward who were sexually assaulted as well, we have to believe survivors. We have to have their back, and we have to figure out how we finally leap forward. Because we've been staying stuck for a long time. It shattered a lot of lives, and enough is enough.
Yeah, I think that for most men, especially the men that I'm talking to, one, I'll tell you that as a movement, it's effective. Like in Hollywood, the man, they are buttoning up.
Which is good.
Yeah,
Which is good.
It's better than good. It's necessary. Two, I'll say that there's a lot of men that are learning for the first time the extent of the plight of the women in their lives.
We're just learning that consent is important. Most of our states, they don't teach consent when they teach sex ed. Think about that.
That's right. And this is a tough discussion, but it needs to be had. Yeah. And people need to learn the lessons, and we need to listen to one another. Yeah. I think that some people are so threatened by the movement, or they're so worried about it, that they're not hearing the messaging behind it. But I think it's an idea, this time has come, and we'll see.
Did you watch the Kavanaugh testimony, the hearings, all that kind of stuff?
I've seen highlights. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. What was your take and impression? Could you imagine an African American or a female yelling at them senators like that?
Oh, you mean the way that Kavanaugh yelled?
Yeah. Or any of it.
You know, man, I'm from the.
Solomon, black man, election manager. Ambazonian with the vote. Election don't go. Yes, as with the vote we go. under the rain and sun. Oh, sweat, brother. Finally, God don't give me the photo. My enemies, they go shake. I go to jubilate this. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This praise is to God. It's by the salvation of God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Now you don't give me the vote. Give praise to God, though. Look, you don't lost the vote, you. Say, I don't win the vote. Yes. Now God don't give me the vote, brother. My enemies, they will shame. Look, you don't lost the vote, you. Say, I don't win the vote. Yes. Now God don't give me the vote, brother. My enemies, they will shame. Look, you don't lost the vote, you. Say, I don't win the vote. Yes. Now God don't give me the vote, brother. My enemies, they will shame. Look, you don't lost the vote, you. Say, I don't win the vote. Yes. Now God don't give me the vote, brother. My enemies, they will shame. High five to the president of Ambazonia. Thank you, Lord. To the general on the ground floor. High five to them all your faithfulness. From north to south, the Amazonian population. I say high five. You have win the vote. I welcome you all, Ambazonia. God bless you.
I'm from this area. Like, I grew up around here, and the sad thing about it is, I believe, sadly, if that woman had gone to the police in 1982 and told them exactly what she had told the Senate, that he wouldn't have gone to jail. Not in that place, not in that time, not with no name like Brett Kavanaugh. It was daunting. It also made me sad that this is a national discussion that's happening during a Supreme Court nominee's hearing. It's a tough time for this country, man.
Famously on SNL, you said you wanted to give Trump a chance, but you also wanted to make sure that he gave disenfranchised people a chance. Looking at the Trump presidency almost 2 years in, do you feel that he gave disenfranchised people a chance?
It's hard to tell where Trump ends and his constituents begin, but I think that the rhetoric of his presidency is repugnant. I just don't like the way he talks. I don't like, there's certain, we're living in a time where there's got to be a little more cultural sensitivity. And even a guy like me that's just writing jokes, I have to listen more than I've ever had to listen because the gripes is coming so fast and furious. And I'm not dismissive of people's gripes. It might sound like it on stage, but I listen. And as a president of a country that's as eclectic as ours, you look around your crowd, you see it's like a patchwork of people. I just think that he's speaking to a very small choir. And there's so many more opinions that the way he engages the public is dismissive of. I don't like talking bad about the president, but I said we should give him a chance because he's the president of the United States now. What choice do I have?
Right.
But I think you also apologized for that sometime later, didn't you?
Well, I don't ever apologize for jokes.
Yeah,
what I
you
said
say?
is, I said I shouldn't have said that shit.
Let's be clear, right? Let's be clear. Donald Trump is playing a politics of divide and conquer. He's picking scapegoats all day long. Muslims, Mexicans, immigrants, black folks, women, it goes on and on.
Yep.
Right? Occasionally, and so what do we do in that moment? We actually have to listen to each other. We have to talk to each other respectfully. We got to pull each other together because
didn't know he'd be here. He lives in Ohio.
Fuck it, Dave.
I would like to apologize to husband. This is an incredible honor to induct this next man into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. He was on stage with Foo Fighters like this a couple months ago.
And even though we were honoring him, he's ours. He is him. And again, I can sit up here tonight. I can talk about his acting, his businessman. I can talk about his accomplishments and beauty. But I think what's most important for everyone in this room to know is what he means to us, what he means to his culture.
Yeah, go ahead.
Being black in America is not as easy as it looks. There's always an or else. Don't do this, or else. Don't say this, or else. Like Sean Carter said about himself, I'm so brazen, I'm so brazen. I'm raised in the sun service. We do it anyway, whenever we have to. We don't have to have a complicated, emotional vocabulary. We have to make everything look easy. And this man is a diamond that was born to pressure. Coined a phrase that fellow Hall of Famer made, Tupac Shakur, called it a rose that grows from the concrete. That to us is what it
Yeah, get some close-ups of Dave and Jay-Z.
We heard our stories come back to us, our stresses and our strife. And the whole time that he said it, my God, Jay, you look so cool. You look so calm and so collected. If I shoot you, I'm brainless. But if you shoot me, you're famous. What a nigga you do, my God, man. It's beautiful to watch. In the music industry, they call him one take over. He said it about himself. I don't know why he said it. Because he was hustling. Because he's self-rapping. Oh, don't get it twisted. American pie is not made out of apples. It's made out of whatever you get your fucking hands on. He used to sell crack. He didn't have anything to write his rhymes on. He would sit there and he would just write down whatever. He would memorize. He would memorize all these thoughts that came to his mind, an avalanche of ideas. And he would just be catching rainwater. And when he got to the studio, like God, he would do the verse, he would let it be, and it would be. And the streets remind me of this. The streets love him for this because he rhymed a recipe for survival. I tell y'all to do drugs, don't hold that. So hopefully y'all won't have to go for that. And I know myself right, so you know. The success comes from watching. And he never let that get him. The way a white person might hear his music is not the same the way someone from Mars hears it. When he said, this is Jay every day, when he told us he never changed, you heard this and he probably said as a white person, well, maybe this guy should focus on his development. we heard is you never forget us. You always remember us. We are his point of reference. That he is going to show us how far we can go if we just get hold of the opportunity. And for this, you always love him. You always treasure him. And as important as this sport is for itself, you must understand that he has his people's heart. And we love him for it. We never recognize him for it or even realize it. Because he embodies the potential in our lives can be and what success can be. And he was so calm. Years ago, right before I hosted Saturday Night Live, it was a week before, I saw Jay-Z at the studio on Saturday Night Live, and I told him, I said, boy, I'm nervous about next week. And he looked around Studio 88, and he showed me this kind of structure show that said, this is easy work. I calmed down. There's so much poetry, you got to know just the way he speaks. I remember this time. The Roots had a jam session in LA. I just wish but I made it to the Roots jam session, and backstage I saw Jay-Z and the photographer came up and said, guys, can we get a picture? It was him and his wife, Beyonce. Relax, man. I love you too, fella. And we all grouped together for a picture, me, Jay, and Beyonce. And I stood between them, and I put my arms around him, and Jay grabbed me and moved me to the side. Grabbed his wife by the hand and said, the rose between the thorns. And we all stood there while they all snapped away. And I said, take the picture. Jay says to me, he was having a lot of pressure on you. Say funny shit all the time. And I looked at Jay and I said, well, he must have a lot of pressure on you. Say cool shit all the time. And Jay looked at me and said, it ain't no pressure, I just do it.
That is really good. That is really nice of Dave Chappelle. That is like really, really awesome. And thanks Dave Chappelle for really apologizing to the trans community. You know, it's a good thing. Don't wanna be canceled.
My God, man, you just did it again. Y'all remember this great. You can't ignore the people that are with him. James Brown and Tata, his mother, Gloria, these people protected him, kept him safe, and kept him sane while he made the ascension to American life. Please give them your warmest round of applause. Oh, your friend, your fan. I'm honored that I got a chance to know you. You embody Black excellence. How great was you be? And Barack Obama was running for president. I sat in the arena with numbers and watched him influence the crowd and make sure we're unified and voters in mind. I understand who you are, and I understand what you do. And I'm very grateful for your contributions in this art, and I am honored to be the nigga that gets to say it.
That's really, really awesome of you, Dave Chappelle. Thanks for really starting this rock and roll Hall of Fame speech with apologizing to the trans community and also in general. It closed our stand-up special. Thanks.
I remember reading somewhere he was like, I've never heard Dave Chappelle.
Oh, yes, he did say that.
Even I was like, word.
From New York, Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Let's go. We going. You don't need no prep, Dave.
All right.
Dave's on time
Turn on
today.
his mics there. There you go.
Check. Yes.
Dave, you're on time, man.
Of course. I'm 44 years old now. I'm a goddamn professional.
You do realize that F-bombs, MFers, insertion in any orifice.
We can't do any of that.
Oh, this is live.
Yeah, we're live
We're
right now.
live.
This is out of New York
100%
City.
live.
5 million people listening right
People
now.
are driving their kids to school, you know, on the way to work.
All right.
Plus,
all
we're
right.
streamed around the world, too.
Duly noted. My fault.
You didn't do anything yet. You're fine.
Not yet.
Dave Chappelle, ladies and gentlemen, is doing so many shows here in New York City. I made sure to print them out because I knew
He doesn't
he
know.
was going to walk
Yeah.
in and go, I don't quite know which show.
I mean, I know what's going on, but it's a lot of moving parts in this run.
So can I ask you a question? What made you, and I mean you've done it before, but what is the joy you have bringing the music and the comedy together?
Well, all right, just like all of you, I'm a fan of music.
Yeah.
And, from Chappelle Show, like a lot of these people that I'm working with are friends of mine. If I don't know them personally, then I'm at the very least, a admirer of theirs. And it's good, man, when people get together. A lot of egos have to be pushed aside for us to all be able to work together. And it is a joy, man.
But is it like an extra bonus? Like you knew you wanted to be successful in comedy, but then you've gotten to play this awesome sort of hip-hop ambassador role as sort of a bonus. Like everyone in hip-hop loves Chappelle and is willing to put their thing aside to come do your show, which is pretty cool.
I mean, well, it's like everyone in the room, we're all part of the culture. We might not rhyme and stuff, but you know what I mean? Like, if you have commentary on a rap record, people will give you legitimacy because you've proven that you're aware of this culture. You commentate on it, you know. But for me, I wouldn't even consider myself an ambassador. I am a fan like everybody else of this music. And I'm lucky enough to get to know some of the best practitioners of this genre.
And you have some of these practitioners doing your shows.
Oh, yes, I do. Some of the very best.
Would you like
and
to-
it's also the first time that I'll be co-headliner with like Chris Rock. Guys that big don't ever get to do shows together. So like me and Chris are going to do 2 nights together.
That's so dope.
We got some special guests coming through. It's going to be a swell time.
And are there tickets still available? There are still tickets available, Corey?
Yes, but they're going like hotcakes in New York. Hurry up, get to the internet, run to the phone. Tickets are selling out.
This is the official Dave Chappelle taking over Ebro in the morning. We're going to wake Dave up. We're going to be back. New cameras. What are these new cameras you brought in here for?
Well, if you do something this big, you got to document it. You don't do this every year in your career. The thing is, this is a special year for me. The end of this run will be my 44th birthday, the last night of this run.
Wow.
Which will mark the beginning of my 30th anniversary in comedy.
Wow.
Yes. Like, you know what I mean? If I was a military guy, I could retire now.
Right.
Get a swell pension. As a matter of fact, as a comedian,
A swell pension.
I could retire right now.
I think you could, Dave, if you wanted to retire. I think you'd be straight. Some would say you did retire for about 12 years before coming back.
Well, unbeknownst to them, I was slaving away. Hey, everybody, listening to Hot 97, apparently where hip-hop and R&B live. I'm comedian Dave Chappelle. I'm joining Ebro and the gang this morning, promoting my upcoming Radio City run, which is going to be epic. Now, Ebro, you had asked me earlier who are some of the people participating. Starting tomorrow night, for the next 4 nights, I will be there with The Roots. Join The Roots, of course.
Yeah.
Will be special guest Lil Wayne.
Wow.
Ice Cube, Common, the young Vince Staples,
Love Vince. Love Vince.
Big Boy from Outkast, and many more. And then the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I'll be there with Chris Rock. Following week, August 9th, the lovely Miss Erykah Badu joins us. And then on August 15th, we have a very special guest.
Oh, wow.
This guest is so special.
Wait, has this been announced yet?
Oh, announced. I believe it might even be sold out. And nobody even knows who the special guest is. And the guest is so special that I can't even say who it is.
Oh, damn. I was going to give you a drum roll and everything.
I had a bomb. I had the flex bomb here.
Hey, hit the flex bomb anyway.
It's a special guest. Very special guest.
Well, it's a very special guest. It's a very special occasion. What do you think I'm going to bring out? You know, ladies and gentlemen, Chubby Checker. He's back from it. I'm kidding. It's going to be great.
Now, Dave, a question. This many shows, Radio City, unprecedented for a comedian, yes? Nobody's ever done this before.
Someone has. I shouldn't say. I believe Bill Cosby has the record for the year. That's hilarious. I mean, Rosenberg, you were really quick with that one, too, right? Oh, boy, yeah. Yeah, but no, but actually I think that at the end of this run, we will exceed that attendance record.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And is it extra special that it's Radio City? There's a certain aura of Radio City.
That venue does mean a lot to me. You know, like the first time that I did a show that was larger than a comedy club was at Radio City. I was 19. I was opening for Aretha Franklin. And then I didn't come back to Radio City till whatever that run we did 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a special place, man. It is.
It's a lot of people don't realize just how long your run in comedy was. I had interviewed David Alan Grier a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about you guys being on the same shows when you were like 16 years old, 15 years old, right?
Yeah, man. I mean,
Caroline's.
I'm like, because I was so much younger than my peer group, you know, I've been around for a long time, but, you know, I go through this thing where I feel like I'm older than I am because my peer group is like a decade ahead of me.
Well, I was going to say, David Alan Grier, for example, you've known him for 30 years or whatever. He's 58 or something like that.
Yeah. It's like that.
Damn, you just threw 58 on? You sure he's 58?
He was shockingly old. When he told me, I was like, whoa, maybe 60.
Shock. That's not shocking.
I was shocked. I was shocked that David Alan Grier
was 62. I remember one time I was sitting with Eddie Murphy, we were watching television, and like Sanford and Son was on. And he goes, I am as old now as Red Fox was on the first season of Sanford and Son. I was like, oh my God. He goes, I am as old now as Carol O'Connor was on the first season of All in the Family.
Sheesh.
Yeah, but Eddie looked like Eddie. He still looked the same.
He really does.
Yeah, we eat better, or like even
more money. There's
yeah,
definitely more money.
Yeah,
definitely more money. Oxygen chambers, nutritionists.
No, he's right though. He's right. You know, people of affluence don't age the same way as the people. You know what I mean?
But I would say, Dave, you don't strike me as necessarily a nutritionist kind of guy.
Oh, absolutely not. but I live well.
You do live very well.
Yeah, and I have effectively minimized my stress. And I exercise. And all of these factors I think will contribute to my quality of life. Maybe not the length of my life, but who knows? I can get hit by a bus, catch some kind of wild cold or Zika or something. I don't know what's going to happen to me. So I just don't worry about it. I just chill and do shows that I dream about. It's like a fantasy show. I'm like living the dream.
Well, you know that our good friend Cypher Sounds often tells me about you. His favorite thing about being around you is that you live the ultimate life in that you do exactly what you want to do on the timeline you want to do it.
Well, it sure looks that way.
It really does. You go to all the fights. You love fights, right? So you always go to all the fights. Will you be at McGregor Mayweather?
Okay, that fight I might not actually attend.
Because you're worried it could like devolve into like a Bo Galata riot or something?
No, because it has all the suspense of a Globetrotter game.
Wait, so are you going to watch it at all?
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to watch.
All right, wait. Let's start with Saturday. You guys were both in the building in Brooklyn, yes?
Yes.
Dave, you went. Laura, you went.
Yes.
Laura, how did you feel about the fight?
Well, I told you guys, see, we had just had the interview with Adrian Broner here, so I felt a little different about him. Like, I felt sorry for him. And everybody looks at me like I'm crazy because I felt sorry for him. Why? Because I felt like when we brought up the mental health issues and then, you know, the way he was just reacting. And
you guys brought up mental health issues?
Well, we had to. Yeah, we had to.
He threatened to commit suicide. He put a gun on the gram and was bugging out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I just kind of
He
felt like,
bugged
and he was
out.
talking about how so many people depend on him, and I feel like everybody's using him, and I don't know. I had this character in my head, okay?
You guys went that deep on morning radio?
When-
With Adrian Broner. You know, look,
All the time.
I thought people were driving their kids to school and all that. What about all that stuff?
They gotta learn, man. They gotta
so
learn.
when I was at the fight, I was feeling different. I didn't know that the whole entire Barclays Center hated him. Nobody was rooting for him, and he lost the entire fight.
Well, I wouldn't say nobody was rooting
It was
for him.
quiet in there, at least on my side.
It was quiet because, the fight wasn't that eventful for a casual boxing fan. A real boxing fan is going to at least get caught up in the suspense of, can these guys accomplish the things they're trying to accomplish within the parameters of a given round? But a casual boxing fan doesn't understand, like, why aren't they punching each other?
At one point, Garcia was like, hit me, boom, 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 boom.
I did not hear him talking in there. Did you hear
I
Mike?
read his lips. I started saying,
I did not see Mike in there talking. Hit me, I say. Rocky dialogue.
Wait, so you're not interested, you're not particularly interested or excited by Mayweather McGregor?
No, I didn't say that. I mean, it's exciting, but it's just like I'm not going to go and... listen, man. Listen, Floyd Mayweather's probably training as we speak.
Yes.
And as he's training, do you know what Conor McGregor's doing? Learning how to box.
Right.
So he can fight a guy that was born with boxing gloves on.
Right.
10-ounce gloves. So it's just like, I just don't see how McGregor can do it.
And in your situation, when you go to a fight, you sit in the most expensive seats in the house. And are they always comped when you get those seats? So you sometimes have to pay, right?
Of course, yeah.
So you have to weigh, if you're going to buy the most expensive ticket, is it worth it to drop $70,000 to go watch this fiasco?
Now, I will say about the McGregor-Mayweather fight that it's such a spectacle that in and of itself is worth seeing. That I feel like no matter what happens, Conor McGregor is a very big winner and talked himself into a lot of money. It's his first fight, and he gets to fight the very best. And I just feel like that's what the fight's going to look like.
Yeah, I agree with you. Do you? We got a little bit weirded out when the racial overtones have gotten a little...
You said it off the air earlier, but I'll say it. Boxing's racist and been racist a long time. I'm going with Floyd Mayweather just because he's black, not because I like him as a person. And I know he's a better fighter.
I honestly, man, the racial overtone, I mean, for what I do, my ears are a lot less sensitive than most people's. And in my heart of hearts, I believe that these guys are great fighters. McGregor's from a different genre of fighting, but it's not like I don't respect what he does. I just don't think he's as good at boxing.
Specific, right.
Right. So a lot of people will say Floyd Mayweather should act a certain way because of his stature or his celebrity. And I propose that perhaps his excellence is his message because he's really, really good at boxing. Like in that circle square, he might be one of the most competent people on earth. When he's doing what he actually does, he's great. And life is complicated. Everyone messes up in life, but can't everyone box that good? And so I enjoy Floyd Mayweather. And I enjoy Conor McGregor. And I don't get bent out of shape about things he says because I know he's getting ready to fight a guy that I'm sure he has to feel deep in his heart is going to whoop his ass. And it's a lot of money to take that ass whooping. I would let Floyd Mayweather beat me up for that kind of money. If he want to take a fight with me, I'd do it.
That would be...
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll. Let's go. Let's go.
It would be slightly less competitive than what you're going to see on the 26th.
Coming to Netflix next, a Dave Chappelle special. Chappelle versus Mayweather. 1.
I wouldn't even get my ass whooped though.
What, you just go down?
Yeah, as soon as I open the bell win, I just jump on the floor, count to 10, and walk to the bank. Life goes on, man. I got no ego.
Well, speaking of Netflix, were you happy with the way your specials were received?
That's a good question. You know what? To be honest, yeah, sure. I mean, the one thing about putting anything out is you can't control how it's going to be received. And I think people were, by and large, very fair and thoughtful about how it was received.
Are you working on another one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look out. There's another one coming soon.
Are these Netflix people around us as we speak?
No. But they are everywhere.
Dave, are you into the Jay-Z album?
444?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's into that.
Everybody?
Well, listen, man. I am 444. I'm turning 40.
Everybody's turning 44.
I'm turning 44, man. This guy's saying stuff that I want to hear, and I can understand all the words.
So you're not a big fan of songs where you can't understand the words.
Oh, I didn't say that. But it's just a record for a person of my time, man. This guy, and it's the first time I think that a guy of his age can make a relevant record, and it's fun to see a genre like hip hop be mature like this. This guy, Jay-Z is he's like a guy. He went to space and came back, bro. He's a billionaire from Brooklyn, from Marcy. I appreciate that. It's fun to see that.
And we never knew that everyone thought hip hop was a young man's game because it hadn't been around long enough to allow people to age. But Hov could keep putting out albums like Bruce Springsteen or Paul Simon or anyone like that.
And to his credit, like for instance, if I had that kind of money, you would never see my ass again. I guarantee you. I would maybe do comedy in clubs or something, but I wouldn't necessarily be out here promoting anything.
I don't think, is he even promoting? He owns Tidal. He just throws it up on Tidal. Nobody's seen him, talk to him, nothing. I don't think, he's with his babies. He's with the babies.
He's going to go on tour when he wants to. On his
course.
terms,
Yeah, you make a good point. Yeah, I don't see.
You would too. If you owned Netflix, you would put up a comedy special when you felt like it.
Or would I?
Or not. Or not.
Nah, I would, man. I just respect the fact that he's been so true to the game for so long.
How big a fan how early did you become a Hov fan? Because you're a real hip hop head. Were you on Reasonable Doubt when it came out?
Reasonable Doubt was a big record, man. Streets was watching. That was a big record. I remember all that stuff. It was dope. It was fun to watch. Back in those days, too, I used to see him around in New York. Like, if you used to go out at night, a couple spots, you'd always run into him. Like, during the Ascent, you just see him. And he got his varsity jacket fairly early.
Yeah, legend status.
Yeah, fairly early. He went damn near straight to the big kids table.
Yeah, he did. He had a pretty quick run.
We had big kids table money early too. That helped.
Yeah. Remember back in the day when it was a big deal that he made $100,000 at the Apollo?
Yes.
And now look at him. What's $50,000 to a guy like him? Please remind him.
What other recent albums you been sitting with, Dave?
Everybody loved that Kendrick record. That kid's doing it. That kid is a perfect reflection of many great influences. Like, when he's probably coming up listening to music, I think he had a good diet.
Yeah.
Because the way he refines it, I like him. He's fun to watch too.
Have you seen him live? Have you had a chance?
Well, do the BET Awards count?
Yeah.
Oh, and then he opened for Kanye that one run. Yeah, I seen him live.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, when he opened for Ye on was it Yeezus?
Have you spent any time digesting the Hov lines on his album about Kanye?
No, you know what, man? I don't get lost in the woods trying to decipher Jay-Z lyrics. If I really, really want to know, I'll call somebody and ask them.
Who's your go-to call for explain hip-hop lyrics to me?
I don't know. Most if I could reach him, I guess.
You had the chance to interview Kendrick for Interview Magazine. What was that like? And were you able to just talk to him about whatever you wanted?
Yeah, man. He wasn't a defensive dude, man. I think he understood I came in peace. And I'm a fan of his. And I think the thing that I was impressed by him was that he sounded very introspective and thoughtful. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he puts it down. I think he stays in probably a creative zone. Guys, like, you can tell when you talk to guys sometimes, like, this guy's working through problems that he doesn't necessarily have to work through. He's figuring it out.
Yeah.
And he's a smart dude, man. I enjoyed that conversation. Now, granted, when I spoke to him, I was in the back of a car on the road on my way to, like, dinner. And he was in the middle of, God knows what. So if I had, in a perfect world, I would have liked to have sat down with him face to face and had more of a conversation like we're having now. Well, not like we're having now, but, just actually talk. But he was very open. I mean, especially considering we're on the phone and there's a guy from Interview Magazine recording the conversation and all that. Right. You know what I mean? Those things, there's a lot of moving parts. And he's never put his guards up. He didn't sound tired or evasive or anything. He just talking.
Do you believe in a lot of times in the hip-hop conversation, people, of course, laud Kendrick for his lyrics, me being the foremost to do that.
You're a nut hugger.
Me being the Kendrick nut hugger of a generation.
You hear that kid's going to school in the back of the car? Nut hugger. Never talking about nothing.
They know. All the kids know.
The kids have already
It's a
learned
known
that.
thing.
But a lot of people then give Drake a hard time because of the thing that was brought out about the lyric writing, etc. Do you think when you talk about all-time greats, do you use that as a strike against Drake, or do you really consider Drake to be an all-time great as well?
These types of questions are tough. Listen, when it comes to art, right? Results matter. So if I listen to a Drake record and I like it, and then somebody comes behind that and starts telling me everything that's in the hot dogs, I ate the hot dog and I liked it. It's done.
Right.
You know what I mean? However, if I'm making art, I would rather do it myself.
Got it.
For me, part of it is like, what can I come up with? And I'm engaging these people. But I don't mind people that make their art via committee. If that's, I don't know what the deal is.
Because the results, like you said, the results matter.
I ate the hot dog. I like the hot dog. And it depends on how I'm using
Drake
the
makes
music.
some damn good hot dogs.
Kosher
good hot
dogs.
Yeah,
Now,
kosher? You think that kosher dog?
Well, he's Jewish. Now,
he might be out here not be. It may not be kosher.
Are you talking about his circumcision?
That's what I mean.
Wow. I gotta tell you.
All right, guys, wait a minute. I'm going to step in here. I am not willing to sit on the radio and let you discuss the end of Drake's penis. I don't want to talk about this for even
I
another
felt like it
second.
tied together with nut hugging night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. He went from the balls all the way up to the tip. Buddy. We got to change this conversation immediately.
Okay, so Dave, your birthday is coming up, right? It's the last day at Radio City. How do you celebrate your birthday?
Well,
I know you have some special surprises during the show, but how do you celebrate
life,
your birthday?
though, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. So, okay, after I quit my show, I don't remember how old I was or what, but I remember I was like on the walkabout, and I started riding motorcycles. So another time I was in Colorado and I ended up doing a show, and Common was there visiting his dad, and he came and rocked with us, and it was spontaneous and fun. Yeah, birthdays. My birthday, the way I celebrate them was I try to make a memory that I'll treasure. Like my best birthday, I can remember my 16th birthday because I had such a good time.
What was it?
I was in D.C. and my brothers surprised me. My brother took me to our old neighborhood. He goes, "Yeah, man, remember all this?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, it was fun." It was like reminiscing and stuff. And then a bunch of our friends from elementary school was sitting at a park bench and surprised me. And I had a show at a comedy club in D.C. that night. We all went to the comedy club, and it was the first time they'd ever seen me perform. It was fun. And the MC was a guy named Patton Oswalt, who's pretty damn famous now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but I remember all these birthdays, comedy is what I like to do on my birthday. Like, I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing for my
I was going to say, you're living the dream. You are truly living your dream.
Well, the thing is, though, but it's not easy. I sincerely make a point, literally, I make a point to manufacture quality memories because it's the only thing I believe they can't take away from me.
Give us a little insight to those parties you've been throwing at a barn in Ohio.
Oh, which one's the
Barns,
orgies
other
or
places.
the-
Oh,
barn.
my God.
Yeah,
You went orgies. You went orgies already.
No,
What's
it's
the
not,
problem?
not an orgy. It's not orgy.
How'd you get sign off on that? I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about how you got sign off on that from the
No, the party is like, it's a juke joint, man. It's like we put full production in my neighbor's barn, and we rock out. I got this band, I call it a band with no name. Really, it's just a bunch of people I poached from Stevie Wonder. And different artists come through and just rock out in the barn. But you got to understand, where I live, this is the big dance. There's no cell phones in there, none of my shows. We don't have cell phones, so your margin of error socially is a little wider if you know that you're not going to get filmed and gotcha. And people come through. John Legend rocked at it. Tribe Called Quest rocked at it. I mean, we've had all kinds of people.
Chance, I think. You've had Chance before,
Yeah,
right?
Chance rocked with us once. Most rocked with us once. Daylight rocked with us in London. Ed Sheeran came by in London right after he'd done Wembley Stadium, man, and it came with us. We were in a little loft in London. We just rock out, and you get to see people do stuff that you wouldn't normally see them do. Big artists come. It's like there's no ego. I'm not paying anybody anything. People just do it. It's all love, man. We all just look out for Joe.
The pivotal moment in our relationship right now, Dave Chappelle.
Wow.
You brought up Ed Sheeran, which made me think of Game of Thrones. Earlier on the show, I pissed a lot of people off who listened to the program because there's people like, I can't afford HBO, so I don't watch Game of Thrones. And I assaulted people's intellect. I said, look, if you don't watch Game of Thrones, intellectually, you and I are in a different place. and my place is better than yours.
Wow. Yeah. So I know what's coming next.
Dave Chappelle, do you watch Game of Thrones?
Them Thrones.
Them Thrones.
You watching them Thrones?
Of course I do.
Yes!
But I did not see last night.
Oh,
That's fine, that's fine,
So
that's
no
fine.
spoilers.
That's
Yes.
fine.
How
Yo,
many
last night the Dragons.
No, that's, by the way, that's what Alexis did.
But it's funny. I got on late. I like binge watched and caught up because I used to be on the tour bus and there was a couple nerds on my bus that always be talking about it. Man, and you hear bits of their conversation, the dragons and all this. I'm like, man, it sounds whack. Got it worse. And then I started watching it, man, and yeah, I just got sucked in. It was, you know what I mean? It was,
And then you were chiming about the dragons.
yeah. Then it was like, yeah.
Yesterday, Alexa's dad, my wife's father, wrote her and was like, she was like, Dad, did you watch Game of Thrones yet? He's like, no, I'm at dinner. I didn't see it. Don't spoil it. She was like, damn, the dragons ate Jon Snow. Sad.
Man.
But it's a special kind of show. I had mixed feelings about Ed Sheeran's appearance, but it wasn't bad.
I
though.
didn't care. This is what I care about, Dave. You know a lot of white people. How much, and for people who don't watch Game of Thrones, there's a whole movement about how Game of Thrones really can teach you about white people and the things that motivate them. Right?
Wait, I haven't heard this yet.
There's a whole article. There's a whole article.
What is this article in though? It's better be.
It's on a black site. It's black
Black
Facebook.
Black Tail has an article, but
No, it's like root.com, I think. And they started the hashtag Thrones, y'all, and all that Twitter stuff. They're a part of that. Do you feel, for the people who don't watch Game of Thrones, that there is anything to learning white people through Game of Thrones?
well, why don't we say it like this? Why don't we say that Game of Thrones illustrates certain concepts that are part of the power, the dynamics of power,
Okay.
and the manipulation of power and leverage in high-end situations. It'd be like if you made a show about 50 Cent's book, The 48 Laws of Power.
Okay.
How many laws of power he said there are. Yeah, I mean, and white people are often powerful in our walk of life, so maybe in that sense it's illuminating.
Yeah, because the article goes on to talk about the dragons are white privilege.
All right, then they're going to.
Because Daenerys is just born with these dragons that you just fire on anybody at any time. She ain't got nothing to worry about. You can't burn her, you can't harm her, you can't do nothing.
Yeah, so I got to think about it. I got to digest that. I don't know if that didn't immediately ring true.
And then they said winter, what are they called? The White Walkers. Mm-hmm. The White Walkers.
Who are the White Walkers?
The White Walkers is
The KKK?
racism. It's always coming. It's KKK. It's always on the way.
No.
It's
Hold
always
on.
coming.
The White Walkers are so much more dangerous than the KKK. The KKK are pathetic
No,
at this
it's
point.
racism. It's
Okay,
all
because
of
the
it.
White Walkers are terrifying.
I've got to read this article.
Where in D.C. were you born?
Washington Hospital Center.
And what section of D.C. did you grow up in?
Well, several. I used to live in Silver Spring from like 0 to 10. And then I lived in the Northeast on East Capitol Street.
Did you hear the really sad D.C. news from the weekend?
That Cool Disco Dan died.
Yes.
man.
Wow, really?
The legend Cool Disco Dan passed away.
Yes,
Yes.
I did. You heard that country big? Yeah, Cool Disco Dan.
He was for people listening who may not know, he was a iconic graffiti artist, and his tag, Cool Disco Dan. I mean, Dave, your entire life must have been seeing. I'm from Montgomery County, so I only saw it some, but in D.C., you saw it all the time.
Yo, you seen on the bus, like written on the seat. This guy was ubiquitous. Like he just rode all over the city. Cool Disco Dan. And then at a certain point, it's like some Turk 182 stuff. At a certain point, people were like, who is Cool Disco Dan? And there was a paper in D.C. that went and found this guy. And he was like a street legend. He was like a local, like, oh, yeah. It was a funny reference locally. And he just passed away.
Just passed away. And there's a great documentary that came out a couple years ago about him. That's phenomenal.
There's a documentary about Cool Disco Dan.
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll send it to you. I got a DVD of it. It's phenomenal.
All right, stuff.
Phenomenal. But yeah, rest in peace, Cool Disco Dan.
Dave, you have some shows announcing today. What's the deal, man? More Radio City dates?
Yes, going on sale today at 3 o'clock. Joining the lineup will be Solange.
Oh. Yes. Wait a minute. Nobody's heard this before.
No, this is breaking story.
Oh, wait, hold on. Set him up.
Yeah, you need this.
Set him up.
You need this.
Gotta have the right thing.
Okay. That's right. Solange going on sale today at 3 p.m. Also joining me at Radio City will be select members.
5 p.m., Dave.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
Excuse me.
In the newsroom over there in the corner, they say 5 p.m.
Correction. Okay, correction. We are going on sale with Solange's show at 5 p.m. And also joining me, select cast members from Saturday Night Live.
Uh-oh.
Leslie Jones, Michael Che, and Colin Jost will be joining me at Radio City. So please check your local ticket listings. I don't even know where do I tell people to look for this?
Occasionally, we're privileged to examine the craft of one of the acknowledged leaders of a generation. Tonight, as we reach the midway point of our 12th year, is such a night. Our guest has made us look at ourselves and laugh at ourselves in an array of films from Robin Hood Men in Tights to Getting In, The Nutty Professor, Con Air, Half-Baked, You've Got Mail, Blue Streak, and Undercover Brother. In television, he has brought his unique, hilarious perspective to Def Comedy Jam, Comic Relief, frequent guest appearances wherever comedy counts, and in his live concert performances, Killing Them Softly, For What It's Worth, and Dave Chappelle's Block Party. The groundbreaking show that bears his name has been honored with Emmy and Image Award nominations and broken every record for DVD sales of a television show. The Actors Studio is very proud to welcome Dave Chappelle.
Everybody's waiting to see how crazy I am. Huh? That's good.
For 11 and a half years, my job on this stage has been to trace for our students the journey that has resulted in the artist in that chair at this moment. It begins always logically at the beginning.
I'm sorry for
What you didn't know is that I'm really funny. He appreciates me. Sometimes you don't. He does. Oh. Where were you born, Dave?
Washington, D.C.
What's your father's name?
William David Chappelle.
And your mother's?
Yvonne Reed Chappelle.
What were they doing in Washington when you were born? How did you happen to be there?
I have no idea. I know sex was involved. And then somehow, no, I'm just kidding. What were my, you know, it's funny. My mom and my dad are very educated people. My dad was doing some corporate. I think he was doing statistics.
In the course of this series, we've constructed an honor roll of impressive mothers. My research has indicated to me that your mother belongs in that number.
She's gonna love this.
But I think she deserves that.
I do too.
What's her educational background?
She's got a master's in divinity, a PhD in African American studies, and something else about some sociology. She's got a stack of degrees in the house somewhere.
Didn't she have a career in the Congo when Patrice Lumumba?
Yes, she worked for Lumumba. He hired her himself, and she worked there during the Civil War. She was there when he was assassinated.
What did your mother do when she returned to the United States?
She opened the Belinga Center at the Central State University.
This was in Ohio?
Yeah, in Ohio.
My research indicates that she established what may have been the first PhD program in black studies in 1974.
Yeah.
She was a pioneer.
Yeah, she was, and in a lot of ways, I think she still is.
You may know or may not know, she taught Lingala.
That I didn't know.
It's a Congo language. She taught it at Central State University. Did she share any of her linguistic gifts with you?
I barely speak English.
Your father also had an academic career.
Yes.
Where did he teach?
Antioch College. It's in Yellow Springs, Ohio. It's a real, hippie town.
It's a hippie college.
It's the hippie college.
Yes, it is.
Antioch, if you'll remember, is the school that had the sex policy. Ask every step of the way. May I kiss your breast?
Did you have any siblings?
I have two. I have a brother and a sister.
Where'd you go to elementary school?
Woodland Elementary, Silver Spring, Maryland.
With an academic environment at home, how did you do in elementary school?
Very poorly.
Why?
I never liked school from the first day. I just walked in there and said, I hate this place. I hate its guts. I hated school. And I know it's not good to say to students, but the way my mom introduced me to school was kind of traumatic, because she didn't tell me I was going. She's packing a lunchbox and all this stuff was happening, and I thought we was going for a walk. And then we walked into school, and she was like, I'm bouncing. I was just in there. And I cried, man, I cried. And these kids were just so mean and evil. I don't know if people remember their first day of kindergarten, but it was like, I felt like all these kids had met each other before, and I was the only one that didn't know anybody. And I got in a fight. This kid, I still remember his name, Paul. We were coloring him. He was coloring corn green. That really bugged me. And I told him that corn was yellow, and he started hitting me, and I was like, this is the coldest shit that's ever happened to me in my life. It was just like instantly life had changed.
So color was already an issue.
Color was an issue. You guys very good?
Did television play a role in your life when you were a kid?
I watched an incredible amount of television. Before I could tell time from a clock, I would tell it from a television. That I could turn on the TV and say, oh, this is on, it's 7:30. I watched so much TV, man. I was always like a escapist.
Yeah.
You know, I was the odd kid out. Like, I didn't tell you this about my first day in kindergarten. I peed in the nap time. I peed, which instantly set me apart from everybody. Like, you can't do that. Right. But we were having juice. It got so good to me, and then I wasn't. And my older brother was like freakishly good-looking dude, you know. Me, I mean, I'm all right. But, you know, everyone in my family was light-complected, except for me. And I'm telling you, from a young age, I noticed people were treating me different. But I didn't understand why they would treat me different.
Yeah.
And I do believe to this day that that had something to do with it. Excuse me.
One of the things you're not allowed to do on this show is to fake tears.
All right, I'm sorry.
This is inside the actor's studio. We don't fake tears here. It's still fake. What middle school did you go to, Dave?
Arthur E. Morgan Middle School, which no longer exists. And that's in Yellow Springs. It was, I guess, right after my last year in elementary school. My mom moved us, like before we lived right on the outskirts of Washington, on the dividing line.
Yeah.
Then Mom moved us in the Northwest. We moved to D.C., man, and it was like the neighborhood was wild, and I was just at that age where I would want to start running the streets, so to speak. So my mom sent my brother and I to live with my father in Yellow Springs.
I see.
4,500 people. Maybe now there's like 3,700 people in that town. So.
And all of them slightly different from the rest of the United States.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's a hippie town. My dad at the time was involved in some like human rights group that was dedicated to ending racism. But it's a small town, so racism is a relative term. Hating black people would mean I hate like 25 people in this town. You know what I mean?
How old were you when your parents separated?
My parents split up when I was 2. And I don't remember them married.
What high school did you attend in Washington?
Duke Ellington School of the Arts. Well, first I went to Eastern High School for half of a school year. I transferred to Duke Ellington. See, this is the thing. When I came back from Ohio, like I left when I was like 10, almost 11. I came back when I was 13, going on 14. While I was gone, crack had come out. So I got like a before and after. It was like a crack bomb had gone off. Like DC during the crack epidemic was probably one of the worst cities in America. Definitely was the murder capital. My freshman year of high school, 560 kids my age murdered. It's heavy, man, you know. Everybody I knew sold crack. Only God knows how many people were smoking crack. And that made a real big impression on me. That and the fact that D.C. is a very segregated city, especially at that time. Statistically speaking, to this day, statistically speaking, there's not one poor white person in Washington. There's a lot of poor black people in Washington. So these are the things that I'm seeing, and I didn't like that shit, man. I didn't like going to Eastern. So I was going through a real tough time, man, like just readjusting. And my mom bought me this Time magazine with Bill Cosby on the cover, Cosby Inc. Me and the guy had a lot of stuff in common, like some of the quotes he would say. And I just remember, like after reading that stuff, I put it down, and it was like, I'm gonna be a comedian. And man, I'm telling you, I could see it so clearly. So clearly, man. This is it. I was so excited, I told my family, I have an announcement to make, I'm gonna be a comedian. You know, it was like real. Because I was always funny. I'm the youngest kid. You know, the youngest kid in the family usually plays that role of the tension breaker.
Right.
I was that dude. And that's when my mom suggested that maybe I go to a comedy club and check it out. Live comedy is the most incredible thing in the world to me. Like the first time you see a dude just standing there talking, and every joke he's saying just hitting, it was working. Every weekend I would go, I'd get a little money, and to the point they started knowing me, I'd just sit in the crowd and I'd just be watching. And then on Tuesdays they had an open mic, and I go on Tuesday to see why people weren't working. Weekends were to see why people were working. Tuesday I was figuring out what's wrong with these people. To watch a comedian bomb is one of the greatest things in the world. I love it. And then at that point, I was talking to a comedian after one of the shows, and the owner of the comedy club, and they were both saying, you know, if you want to be a good comedian, you got to take acting classes. And they didn't explain it. But after that, I went home and I said, Mom, I got to take acting classes. And that's how the Duke Ellington thing started.
That's a school of the arts, right?
Yeah.
And what did you study there?
Theater. The school is incredible. Classical acting, modern acting, improvisation, technical theater, script analysis, script writing.
Did you work while you were in school in Washington?
Yeah, okay. Let's run down the list. My first job, summer, between 87 and 88 school year.
Now, this is a tradition. The first person in the 11 and a half years of this series who ever smoked on stage was Sean Penn, and the students applauded him then. Tonight, you light up a cigarette, the students say, what do you got about cigarettes? You like cigarettes? They applaud when you smoke.
I don't know about y'all, but this shit is stressing me out. I feel like I'm confessing and stuff. Does everything feel like I'm on trial in this one? Tell me about that thing. I mean, you know, I don't know. I was a child and it's all so wild, Mr. Lipton. All right, so, the first job, and remember, this is when people were making a lot of money selling drugs. $3.50 an hour. August, I had to dress up in a cookie costume. Not bullshitting, a cookie costume with chocolate chips and a big chocolate chip on my head. Sweating. And I had to hand out flyers for this place called the cookie bag. When I started at Duke Ellington, it was like you go to school from 8 o'clock in the morning till at least 5 o'clock at night. So work stopped for a while. And then, you know, that nightclub thing kicked in.
Was your early comedy autobiographical?
Still don't talk about myself.
It isn't.
It's yes, but never directly. I don't want to give away my secret recipe. But originally my plan was I'll go to school, and then after I graduate, I'll start stand-up. But then I was like, I'm going to the club after school. It's Tuesday, so I'm going to go to that open mic night. I had been practicing with the candlestick in the mirror. I felt like I was ready. And I told my family I was going. Told my mom, you know, I'm going. I don't want you to come. I want to go by myself. It's something I got to do, and whatever. So, of course, she shows up with my grandmother and my brother. The MC introduced me. I can remember the introduction. You know, folks, everybody's got to start sometime, and tonight is this young man's first time on stage. Who knows? Exactly what it says. Who knows? You may be witnessing the birth of a star. Please welcome Dave Chappelle. And I went up there, man, and I was scared. And I used to look at my feet when I started. And I said the first joke, looking down at my feet, and they laughed. And then I looked up, like, holy. And then I looked back down at my feet and said, no. And after the set, you know, the crowd was going crazy. I think I did 2.5 minutes, but they were going crazy. I was 14, probably looked like I was 11. Jesus. I was telling jokes about Jesse Jackson running for president, and Alf spaceship landing in a black neighborhood. Because before I got on, I was scared, and I told my grandmother, like, you might hear me say some things that you might not want to hear your grandson say. And she said, just relax and do that shit. I said, whoa, I never heard it come. So it went great. And then here's the kicker. So then I go to school the next day, you know, feeling like $1 million. And I go and I'm telling all the kids at school, guess what I did last night? Comedy club. Ripped, the crowd was going crazy, you know. And you know what they said? Cool. And it was the beginning of a dual life. By day, I was Clark Kent. And at night, I was Superman. You know, pretty girl in school might look at me and be like, oh, Dave, he's so funny, but I wouldn't date him. But at night, I'd date women your mother's age, if I wanted.
Did you move to New York to do some stuff?
Yeah. I said, I'm going to go to that Apollo and rip that mug. I went for the regular Wednesday amateur night. When I say I got booed off stage, God. I still remember that boo. I'd never been booed off stage before, but I just remember looking out and seeing like everybody booing, everybody. Even old people, I was like, who boos a child pursuing his dreams? Like, this is the meanest crowd in the world. And that sign went off, and that dude comes out tap dancing.
Sandman.
Sandman. I wanted to choke the shit out. I hate you. I was like, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Wow. Best thing, because before that time, I had never bombed, let alone got booed off stage. And bombing was horrifying. Nobody wants to bomb. Nobody, you know, when people say you do comedy, what happens if nobody laughs? I don't know. So that night was liberating because I failed so far beyond my wildest nightmares of failing that it was like, hey, they're all booing. My friends are here watching, my mom. This is not that bad. And after that, I was fearless. To get into the New York comedy circuit is a very closed circuit. And I got in all these clubs in like a week, 2 weeks. Like, that's just reputation. Have you seen this kid? Have you seen this kid? I was like that dude.
How old were you when you made your first TV development deal?
19. My mother and my grandmother were freaked out. You know, I was the first person in my family not to go to college that had not been a slave.
Right.
So I was really breaking from tradition, and it was like a graduation lunch we were having, and they had my dad come and talk to me, and my dad takes me outside, and he's like, listen, and this is some advice that applies to all you acting students. He says, to be an actor is a lonely life. Everybody wants to make it, and you might not make it. And I said to my dad, well, that depends on what making it is, Dad. He was a smart ass kid. Yeah. It depends on what making it is, Dad. He says, what do you mean? I said, well, you're a teacher. I said, if I can make a teacher salary doing comedy, I think that's better than being a teacher. And he started laughing. He said, if you keep that attitude, I think you should go. He said, but name your price in the beginning. If it ever gets more expensive than the price you named, get out of there. Mm-hmm. Thus, Africa. Oh, man. Yeah, you guys are going to learn a lot tonight.
What can they learn?
You know, like you guys are students now, so you're idealists, but you don't know about where art and corporate interests meet yet. Just prepare to have your heart broken. Like, in a way, you see him laughing, that evil laugh? Because he knows, man, and everybody laughs at me, but just get your Africa tickets ready, baby, because it's coming. It's coming. You have no idea. The first pilot I did was called I'm the Man, and it didn't get picked up. It was real painful because I had experienced nothing but success. Took it like a bitch, man. I was really upset. And that's when I started smoking that weed, man. It just made me feel better, man. I'm not trying to tell kids to do that. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't tell anybody to do it, but that's how I dealt with my problems. And at the time, it was working out great, baby. I was smoking that weed. I'm just being real, you know. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of white kids, you got things accessible to you like therapy. We don't have that. We have liquor stores and weed.
You've called The Nutty Professor one of your favorite film assignments. Why?
I just remember the first day at work, and I'm walking on the set, and this fat dude comes up like, hey, man, you're real funny. I'm like, thanks. Oh, yeah, Eddie Murphy. He had that makeup on, and he knew my jokes. He started telling obscure jokes I did, like he knew them. And every day we would do takes, man. I mean, somewhere this footage exists. And when they say cut, I mean, those extras would be cheering. I mean, it was like me and Eddie we would dance. And Eddie would drop these jewels on me, you know, when we're working. He's a real wise dude. Seen a lot of Eddie Murphy. And he was the guy that was like, you got to start writing. He's like, the way you tell jokes, you think in pictures, and you can write. You should start doing it. And that was the big Nutty Professor breakthrough.
In The Nutty Professor, Dave plays a severely manic comic named Reggie Warrington, who uses his comic skills to humiliate Eddie Murphy as the hapless Sherman Klump. A lesson for this evening: comedy can be cruel.
Yeah. Somewhere there's a black professor watching this like buffoonery. But that made me laugh saying that, because I remember when I said who was sucking whose titties land, and Eddie was like doing the Sherman, and he was drinking, and then I said it, and water shot out of his nose. And he said, I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting that. And that was the best feeling, like, to make Eddie Murphy break characters was very, to this day, man, forget the Emmy nomination, that was the best.
Who wrote Half-Baked?
It was me and Neil and Purple Haze.
Tell us about that writing process. How did you guys work?
I can't remember. I was high, man. I was high. The night before we had these series of pitch meetings, we were like, man, we don't have a story. And at the time, you know, I drank a little beer, so we drank some beer. Neil doesn't smoke weed. I smoked me some weed. And suddenly, we had this story, this weird story about killing a police horse and needing to raise money. And it was really weird the way it happened, man. But it was really inspired, Half-Baked. I liked smoking weed so much that I thought I should make a movie about this. And it was inspired, man. It was like, you know, it was inspired. When that script came out, me and Neil, we were hot as a pistol for a week. The script was way better than the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that script was dope.
Dave, who do you play in the movie?
Huh? I played Thurgood Jenkins.
Thurgood Jenkins.
Yes.
But that's only half the story. Who else do you play in the movie?
Oh, I played Sir Smoke-A-Lot.
One of my favorite scenes is the one that involves both Thurgood and Sir Smoke-A-Lot.
Very embarrassing, homie.
I think it's a remarkable piece of acting. That's why I wanted to play it.
I'm sorry, man. For me, it's a little surreal being on the actor studio and just to see you like, and then you did Half-Baked.
When Martin Lawrence was in that chair, we talked about Blue Streak.
I love that dude.
He played a role in your life, I believe. How do you feel about him as a person, as an artist?
Martin Lawrence is the guy that showed everybody you can make it from D.C. to Hollywood. And I had a personal stake in his success. Every time he did something, it made me feel inspired and really good. And he was always real nice to me. He'd sit me down, what's going on with you, baby boy? What? We'd talk about comedy, whatever. And, you know, when we did Blue Streak, we were promoting it, and Martin had a stroke. He almost died. And then after that, I saw him, and I was like, oh my God, Martin, are you okay? And he said, I got the best sleep I ever got in my life. That's how tough he is. So let me ask you this. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, they are trying to kill me?
Yeah.
What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and take her clothes off on TRL? A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. Ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick. Oh, I'm dropping dimes tonight. I've had a long year, Mr. Lipton.
We're on our way. What did you mean, Dave, when you described your father's death in 1998 as the beginning of a terrible decline?
I was 23 when I was doing Half-Baked. I was getting ready to turn 24. And I was going through all the things that a dude goes through when he goes from one level to the next. I was starring in a movie that I wrote. So things start getting crazy around you.
Yeah.
And my 24th birthday was coming on August the 24th, and I said, this is going to be a big one. And the morning that I turned 24, phone rang, and my sister was like, Dad had a stroke. For the next year, I watched my father teeter on life and death. And it was just all this stuff, man. Like Dad was dying, the Half-Baked didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out. I was real upset about that. Because it was a real cool script, and then I saw it, I was like, hey man, you made a weed movie for kids. And it wasn't for kids, the script, you know. It was all these things, so much pressure. Africa. Then I was in Ohio. I get a call on my cell phone from Hollywood. I'm like, hello, Hollywood. They're like, hello, Dave. They're like, that pilot you did for Fox, looks like they want to pick it up. We need you to come out because they want to meet with you. And I was like, well, listen, I can't really come out right now. Got a real bad situation at home. Can we talk about this on the phone? No, they would rather meet with you in person. But you know, like the horror that they turned us into, I jumped on that plane and left my father's bedside, which I regret to this day. And I went out and I sat with these people in this room. And if you can imagine a large circle of people, and I was 12 o'clock, the black dude. Yeah, Dave, we really liked the show, but the pilot episode was about me getting booed off stage at the Apollo. They go, you know, but what are you going to do about it? I mean, there's not really any white people in it. So, well, it's about the Apollo. It's not really white. Well, you know, we were thinking about the girl on the show. We didn't think she was that funny, not that good looking. I think we should recast her, maybe. And they start using terms like universal appeal. Basically saying they want me to recast the girl with a white woman. I say, yeah, I don't think I can do this, and I quit. On the cover of Variety, Chappelle pulls the race card. The race card. And I get calls from Newsweek, 60 Minutes. Everybody, we want your story. Now I'm scared to death. I'm like Rosa Parks or something. I'm like, I'm not ready for this. I was just venting a little bit. And then, a few months later, Dad dies. And that's hard for a young dude in his life. That's a real tough loss. I was there when he died, and he went from being my father to what are we gonna do with the body? Within moments, it was over. And I'm going through all this stuff, and this is the guy I would usually talk to, right? Dad. And I gotta figure this out for myself. I don't wanna figure this out for myself. You know, I was beat down, I wasn't living right. You know what I mean? Like the weed thing was just a bad habit at this point, and you know what I mean? All these, you know, chicken head girls you mess with when it comes with the territory. I'm just being real, just being real. Just wasn't living right, man. I didn't feel good. And the stand-up stuff was just some angry stuff. It was just like I was kind of bottoming out. But when my dad died, because I've been commuting back and forth to Ohio so much, that's when I bought the farm, which I called the you Hollywood farm.
Did you stay in Yellow Springs for a while?
I live there to this day. I live there to this day. I'm raising my kids there. Look, man, at that point in your life, it's something so real in contrast to what Hollywood is, a very powerful illusion. And when your dad died, it kind of just broke the spell. Like, oh, this is bullshit. Look, I've been spending so much time doing this. What about my family? What about my friends? Wait, whatever happened to my friends? Damn, I don't even have any friends. Ugh. So I bounced, man. New Year's Eve, 1999, I moved into that farm, and that was it. As far as I was concerned, I was done with show business.
The comedians I've worked with over the years often don't laugh at jokes. Can you be amused by your own work, by other people's work?
I love my jokes.
Good.
Some jokes, like, you know, I got this real immature streak where I write a lot of scatological humor.
So I've heard.
You know, but a good joke will just never, they last, they hold up. I just like having fun. When I'm on stage, I get real happy up there. Like maybe that's the only time in my adult life that I feel like myself. You're standing up there, you know what I mean? Like a gladiator, and them lights is on you, and you look down, and everyone's looking up at you like, and it's just all these smiles around you, and they get dressed, and they put perfume on and stuff, and they're going to see your show. That feels good, man. These people, you know, they love you. Even if it's for a minute, they really do. They love you, man. You know, it's like it's a love fest.
Good feeling.
Yeah, it's the best feeling, man. I love stand-up.
In 2000, you taped a concert for HBO.
Yes.
called Killing 'Em Softly.
Killing 'Em Softly.
To borrow a comedian's term of art, Dave killed in that concert. The setup for this is that his limo driver says he's got to stop somewhere. So he stops in the ghetto. And it's Dave in the ghetto in a limo.
Yes.
Huh?
He gets it. He gets it. That's it.
But the thing is that you do exactly what a honky would do in the ghetto. You lock the doors,
exactly
right? So you have ambivalent feelings. You're drawn to it and you're...
And I'm afraid, listen, man, black people don't like the ghetto.
Like you and me, you mean?
Yeah. Nobody wants to live in the ghetto, but the joke is so dope. Man, I got...
Convention takes on call to cancel Dave Chappelle. It's really wonderful, and it's very difficult to cancel Dave Chappelle. Listen to what Dave Chappelle says, and it's closer, special. Listen to what he says.
I am not saying that to say that trans women aren't women. I am just saying that those that they got, you know what I mean? I'm not saying.
Guys, do you know what it means by those? Like, I know the silence that they were. I think it meant those books that they got. I think that is what it meant.
It's not, but that's like beyond impossible. It tastes like, that's not quite what it is it? It's not blood, that's beet juice.
Yeah. And critics and activist groups are slamming Dave Chappelle's latest Netflix special as transphobic. It's wonderful. I get what they really say regarding the statement that he made, but let's be frank and fair. It's difficult to cancel Dave Chappelle. It's really, really difficult to cancel them. To be honest, you can't cancel him. He doesn't give a damn about what people say. And he also said, like, if people are to be cancelled for saying that against trans women, then he's pretty okay with it. It's really difficult to cancel Dave Chappelle. He's somebody that can be cancelled based on what he says. And look at it. The special ranked number 4 on Friday on Netflix top 10 streaming specials. And he also said they also joke about a rapper that baby was cancelled for making anti-LGBTQ comments. Yeah. So you can't shoot and kill, but you can shoot and kill, but you better not hurt people's feelings. Jason Moran, executive producer of Netflix, Dear White People. It's one of many photos. You see, I love so many of the people I work with at Netflix, brilliant people and executives who have been collaborative, fought for the important arts, but I've been thrown against the wall because I'm not a real woman. I've had beer bottles thrown at me. So at Netflix, I'm done. Yeah. To be honest, it's literally difficult to cancel Dave Chappelle. It's very difficult. You can't just cancel Dave Chappelle like that. He's a person who has been doing stand-up comedy for almost 40 years. So it's really, really difficult uh, to cancel Dave Chappelle. To be honest, it's difficult.
And that's how the Duke Ellington thing started.
That's a school of the arts, right?
Yeah.
And what did you study there?
Theater. The school is incredible. Classical acting, modern acting, improvisation, technical theater, script analysis, script writing.
Did you work while you were in school in Washington?
Yeah, okay. Let's run down the list. My first job, summer, between 87 and 88 school year.
This is a tradition. The first person in the 11 and a half years of this series who ever smoked on stage was Sean Penn, and the students applauded him then. Tonight, you light up a cigarette, the students say, what do you got about cigarettes? You like cigarettes? They applaud when you smoke.
I don't know about y'all, but this shit is stressing me out. I feel like I'm confessing and stuff. This everything feel like I'm on trial in this. Tell me about that thing. I mean, you know, I don't know. I was a child and it's all so wild, Mr. Lipton. All right, so, the first job, and remember, this is when people were making a lot of money selling drugs. $3.50 an hour. August, I had to dress up in a cookie costume. Not bullshitting, with a cookie costume with chocolate chips and a big chocolate chip on my head, sweating, and I had to hand out flyers for this place called the Cookie Bag. When I started at Duke Ellington, it was like you go to school from 8 o'clock in the morning till at least 5 o'clock at night. So work stopped for a while, and then, you know, that nightclub thing kicked in.
Was your early comedy autobiographical?
Still don't talk about myself.
It isn't.
It's yes, but never directly. I don't want to give away my secret recipe. But originally my plan was I'll go to school, and then after I graduate, I'll start stand-up. But then I was like, I'm going to the club after school. It's Tuesday, so I'm going to go to that open mic night. I had been practicing with the candlestick and the mirror. I felt like I was ready. And I told my family I was going. Told my mom, you know, I'm going. I don't want you to come. I want to go by myself. It's something I got to do and whatever. So, of course, she shows up with my grandmother and my brother. The MC introduced me. I can remember the introduction. You know, folks, everybody's got to start sometime, and tonight is this young man's first time on stage. Who knows? Exactly what it says. Who knows? You may be witnessing the birth of a star. Please welcome Dave Chappelle. And I went up there, man, and I was scared. And I used to look at my feet when I started. And I said the first joke, looking down at my feet, and they laughed. And then I looked up, like, holy. And then I looked back down at my feet and said, no. And after the set, you know, the crowd was going crazy. I think I did 2.5 minutes, but they were going crazy. I was 14, probably looked like I was 11. Jesus. I was telling jokes about Jesse Jackson running for president and Alf's spaceship landing in a black neighborhood. Because before I got on, I was scared, and I told my grandmother, like, you might hear me say some things that you might not want to hear your grandson say. And she said, just relax and do that shit. I said, whoa, I never heard it come. So it went great. And then here's the kicker. So then I go to school the next day, you know, feeling like $1 million. And I go and I'm telling all the kids at school, guess what I did last night? comedy club. Ripped, the crowd was going crazy, you know. And you know what they said? Cool. And it was the beginning of a dual life. By day, I was Clark Kent. And at night, I was Superman. You know, pretty girl in school might look at me and be like, oh, Dave, he's so funny, but I wouldn't date him. But at night, I'd date women your mother's age, if I wanted.
Did you move to New York to do some stuff?
Yeah, I said, I'm gonna go to that Apollo and rip that mug. I went for the regular Wednesday amateur night. When I say I got booed off stage,
God.
I still remember that boo. I'd never been booed off stage before, but I just remember looking out and seeing like everybody booing, everybody. Even old people, I was like, who boos a child pursuing his dreams? Like, this is the meanest crowd in the world. And that siren went off, and that dude comes out tap dancing.
Sandman.
Sandman. I wanted to choke the shit out. I hate you. I was like, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Wow. Best thing, because before that time, I had never bombed, let alone got booed off stage. And bombing was horrifying. Nobody wants to bomb. Nobody, you know, when people say you do comedy, what happens if nobody laughs? I don't know. So that night was liberating because I failed so far beyond my wildest nightmares of failing that it was like, hey, they're all booing. My friends are here watching, my mom. This is not that bad. And after that, I was fearless. To get into the New York comedy circuit is a very closed circuit. And I got in all these clubs in like a week, 2 weeks. Like, that's just reputation. Have you seen this kid? Have you seen this kid? I was like that dude.
How old were you when you made your first TV development deal?
19. My mother and my grandmother were freaked out. You know, I was the first person in my family not to go to college that had not been a slave.
Right.
So I was really breaking from tradition, and it was like a graduation lunch we were having, and they had my dad come and talk to me, and my dad takes me outside, and he's like, listen, and this is some advice that applies to all you acting students. He says, to be an actor is a lonely life. Everybody wants to make it, and you might not make it. And I said to my dad, well, that depends on what making it is, Dad. He was a smart-ass kid.
Yeah.
It depends on what making it is, Dad. He says, what do you mean? I said, well, you're a teacher. I said, if I could make a teacher salary doing comedy, I think that's better than being a teacher. And he started laughing. He said, if you keep that attitude, I think you should go. He said, but name your price in the beginning. If it ever gets more expensive than the price you name, get out of there. Mm-hmm. Thus, Africa. Oh, man. Yeah, you guys are going to learn a lot tonight.
What can they learn?
You know, like, you guys are students now, so you're idealists, but you don't know about where art and corporate interests meet yet. Just prepare to have your heart broken. Like, in a way, you see him laughing, that evil laugh? Because he knows, man, and everybody laughs at me, but just get your Africa tickets ready, baby, because it's coming. It's coming. You have no idea. The first pilot I did was called I'm the Man, and it didn't get picked up. It was real painful because I had experienced nothing but success. Took it like a bitch, man. I was really upset. And that's when I started smoking that weed, man. It just made me feel better, man. I'm not trying to tell kids to do that. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't tell anybody to do it, but that's how I dealt with my problems. And at the time, it was working out great, baby. I was smoking that weed. I'm just being real, you know. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of white kids, you got things accessible to you like therapy. We don't have that. We have liquor stores and weed.
You've called The Nutty Professor one of your favorite film assignments. Why?
I just remember the first day at work, and I'm walking on the set, and this fat dude comes up like, "Hey, man, you're real funny." I'm like, "Thanks." "Oh, yeah, Eddie Murphy." He had that makeup on, and he knew my jokes. He started telling obscure jokes I did, like he knew them. And every day we would do takes, man. I mean, somewhere this footage exists, and when they say cut, I mean, those extras would be cheering. I mean, it was like me and Eddie we would dance, and Eddie would drop these jewels on me, you know, when we're working. He's a real wise dude. Seen a lot, Eddie Murphy. And he was the guy that was like, you got to start writing. He was like, the way you tell jokes, you think in pictures, and you can write. You should start doing it. And that was the big Nutty Professor breakthrough.
In The Nutty Professor, Dave plays a severely manic comic named Reggie Warrington, who uses his comic skills to humiliate Eddie Murphy as the hapless Sherman Klump. A lesson for this evening: comedy can be cruel.
Yeah. Somewhere there's a black professor watching this like buffoonery. But that made me laugh saying that, because I remember when I said that who was sucking whose titties land, and Eddie was like doing the Sherman, and he was drinking, and then I said it, and water shot out of his nose. And he said, I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting that. And that was the best feeling, like, to make Eddie Murphy break characters was very, to this day, man, forget the Emmy nomination, that was the best.